Welcome to another edition of the AERO Friedrichshafen Spotlight Sessions. Today I am with a man who is really putting together an incredible program as part of the show. Herwart Goldbach, would you introduce yourself, please, and tell us why you are responsible for the general aviation sessions?
In easy words, I would say I love to fly. I love flying, and as well, if I look back to my professional career, I worked around about 50 years, 53 years for air traffic control, and I was full of safety minds. Safety is a important word concerning to bring it together with flying, with aircraft, with pilots, with everything what's belonging together. And I started to make presentations at the AERO Fair in Friedrichshafen in the year 2004. And I never passed one AERO Fair over there. And I start as well with Roland Bosch, the old boss, to build up a small spot for education. And this spot for education is growing up, growing up, growing up. And this means in the meantime, we have the General Aviation Academy. Tobias Breitzel, he likes this, and he asked me if I want to continue this academy for the future, and I do it some years now. And we have 92 different presentations in the next fair in 4 days with a brilliant group of teachers, introducers, professors, doctors, whatever you call it. But the easy word is enthusiast pilots. These guys who go to transfer her knowledge to the other pilots like to do it. And I'm just a small light. I have to organize it. I do the work. I like to do the work. It's a little bit masochism, but I have to do it, and it's my job. It's my fun, and I'm happy if a lot of pilots come every year to take a part on this. And last year we had more than 2,000 participants, and I want to have to go to 2,500 to 3,000. We have to count it.
And a few things here. One, congratulations on the longevity of service, the amount of people that you're helping in a fantastic program. And two, you're being very modest because I know you have some particular concern, shall we say, about young pilots and new pilots coming through, and they don't know what they don't know today. And these education sessions are absolutely essential. Could you expand a little bit on that, why it's so important to transmit some of this education to people when they're in real life scenarios flying?
If we talk about young pilots, we don't mean the age. We mean the knowledge of these people. They're men and women, from different countries, different languages, have the same problem. It's necessary to fly to know a huge amount of knowledge, a huge amount. Books, films, everything else, examination. It's a lot of stuff. And if you remember, if you start learning, you just know the topics, to go down into the knowledge. And if you have the knowledge, it's easier than to go to the computer and make click, 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 and just it works. And it's similar to as a time as you made yourself, personally, your driving license. You learned driving later. Piccadilly Circus in London is nothing for driving school. Or Paris. But you learn flying by flying. You learn flying with a teacher just at the beginning, at the doorstep, to go into the house. But you don't own the house of knowledge for flying. And therefore we have to bring the guides, the young pilot, young pilot, to the knowledge, but we have to do it carefully. And the academy has a wonderful choose, I call it choose button. You can change what you want. You can choose on your own. This is the point where I don't be safe in the knowledge and take this part of knowledge or that part of knowledge. I choose my capital. I choose my point of interest myself, and not the teacher says you have to learn this, you have to learn that. No, I do it on my own. And it's easier to learn on your own as when you have to learn.
And I agree. And I also think, we've touched upon this before we started this conversation. Today, we rely a lot on our mobile phones, our iPads, or systems that we can help to navigate when we're in the air. There is although it's fantastic, there's a bit of a danger in that as well, isn't there? Would you like to speak a little bit to some of the things that the awareness that people need to have around this?
I will compare to the kitchen. You remember now you have a new kitchen machine. You put all the ingredients in, but you don't know anything about it, but you get your bread. And like this is it now with the electronic assistance system in an aircraft. You put it from A to B, my weight, and the machine is working. But no machine is working all the time. No machine does everything right. Because behind the machine, there is a programmer. And the programmer, this stuff, is a human being. And human beings could make mistakes. And as well, a machine, a system, a computer will have failures. Just electrical failures. The battery went down, back. And the most important observation in my life in a flying career was if my iPad stops working, the iPad of my partner stopped as well working because they are in the same temperature area. It was too hot. And therefore, we have to be able to do everything back to the roots on our own. We have to know why I have to do it. It's not the step of the house of knowledge. We have to go into the house of knowledge and we have to know how it works, what is necessary, and so on. And if you are in trouble with your flight, if something happens with the engine, you have to know what happens. And I will never forget a sentence of one teacher: if something is not working, check what works properly, use this part and ignore the other part to make a decision making. And decision making is based on knowledge. And Tim Preußer, a wonderful instructor, he told me, Herwart, if you are in trouble and you find a perfect solution, stay by this solution. Don't change the solution. You have one solution, it works. As well, this needs knowledge. Knowledge of the system, knowledge of how works one with part three, what happens. And the new generation, I compare them sometimes with this. They put the boil in, it works. But who made this? Who gives the information into this stick? Nobody. And the other important thing is that we, let's say, sometimes not strong enough to ourselves. We want to fly. Flying is inside the plane. We have a lot of gas. We are heavy. And the third friend comes, take me with you. I have to go. Weight and balance says no. Runway length says no. Temperature says no. And the pilot says, okay, come in. It will work. You will often find this in accidents. It's a human being factor. And the human being factor is, I'm afraid to say no to a friend. I say no to a situation. And this is the point where we have to talk. We have to talk in open discussions or in private discussions. And in the academy, we have different lectures, different lectors. And the point is, they are different, but every pilot will find the correct one for himself. And we have as well English lessons, we have Italian, we have parts of French, and we have, of course, a lot of German. And the first time we have in this year a podium discussion with Flight Information Service together from Switzerland, Austria, and Germany. It's as well brand new, and I'm happy to have it there.
And that again is another fantastic, and particularly with your expertise in air traffic control and understanding the different permissions you have across airspace. I know we liken this show a little bit to EAA AirVenture, which is fantastic. The huge difference here is airspace, country, navigation, all the different jurisdictions. And I think that's a really vital session for anyone to be at. Could you speak a little bit around what's in that? What can people get from attending that session?
You will get you will get your knowledge. You can update your knowledge in different points. What we as well have, we have with the German, we call it Vereinsflieger. It's the Flying Club Germany has a platform where you will find all of these presentations and put yourself in, and you have a documentation that you participate. If you have a problem with, let's say, flying rules, and you get a small paper from the government, you can say, hey, excuse me, Mr. Judge, but I try to do everything right, but it is like this. And this will help you. This is one fact. The other fact is you talk about air traffic control. The fact of air traffic control is that it's not a guiding institution for general aviation. Now, the pilots are free. They are working in the air, in the aircraft, on their own responsibility. And the air traffic controllers are not pilots. They just protect their own rules. They are servants. They serve us safety. And we have to work with them, and we have to use them. We must be able to, let's say, use them as a tool to tell the air traffic control what are my wishes, my opinion, my future steps I want to go. That is the fact. And if you go to the AERO, you will all be very, very close to these people. You can talk to them from face to face in private talks, in group talks, and in a lot of different, maybe in the cafe, at a bar, where you want. And I'm happy to have them together. It is very, very difficult to tell normal people that the group of pilots is a very small group, and everybody knows one and the other knows the second, and it's closed circuit. Everybody knows everybody from everybody. Everyone.
I think one of the things that will be helpful, because I know one of the topics that comes up frequently is when people get their license, and I'm one of these, stop flying. And there's a potential for a lot of adventures. And, although we have a large landmass, we can get easily from one country to another across Europe. And that could make for a great flying adventure. But even navigating different airspaces, I think that could be really helpful to people who perhaps want a longer adventure. Now they've got their license, they've got their aircraft, or they may have had it for a while. Is there something in there for people like that, pilots like that?
Yes, we have presentations for that. And if you look to the United States is so huge, like the whole European area. But we have different rules in every country. They're similar, but they are not the same. And that is the problem we have. And this as well a very bad point, that we don't have the same route, exactly the same, that my behavior as a pilot will change from country to country. To fly VF under IFRS conditions, one. Night flying is the second. Minimum altitudes, the third in Italy. Semicircular routes from north to the south or from east to the west, everything is difficult. Or we are unable to accept one language in the air for everybody. We have different ICAO language. Hey, it's bullshit. Excuse me, but I'm German speaking, but for flying, I use the English language because a lot of people will understand me at that very moment when I start talking. You go to Greece, they speak Greece. I don't speak Greece, a little bit. But France, they speak French. Okay, I don't like Scottish accent or some special accents, but we have it as well in Germany. But we have one language, and we need one language, one rule, and what's very, very important is one understanding what is safety. And when this idea is combined during the AERO at one spot at Friedrichshafen, on stage, in conference rooms, in private talks, and everybody's come there to talk to me. I wear similar clothes that the people know he is it. And the other fact is that the AERO is very, very important for the general aviation, because if you go to the commercial aviation, it starts with general aviation. In the black years behind us, the war times, the general aviation was interesting for the military use. But now we are in a civil world, and I hope we will be civil in the future. Political factor as well, very, very heavy. And another point is, I have a presentation about changing in Germany about the political situation in the air due to the huge activities of the military from whole Europe. In Germany, it's not only the German military active, it's all the others are active. We have Italian, we have everything. The NATO forces are within Germany, Lithuania. And all this is changing. In French, it's very strong and very hard as well. The British people are very active, and as well the Germans. And this is a political point. We can talk about it, but don't expect during the AERO time political statements. We are unpolitical. And another point what we have during the presentations will not be used for selling stuff. They'll be used to give you informations, to give you knowledge, to understood, to help you to learn, to keep your license from VFR to IFR or to become a professional pilot. We have all this lectures here.
I think everything you're saying is essential for anyone flying as a general aviation pilot anywhere in Europe today. I have one last thing I'd like to touch on as well, which I think is also very, given what you've just said about the military, spoofing, because lots of people now really rely on satellites. They rely on that communication in the cockpit, and that's increasing, with lots of great new tools that are coming online. Would you expand a little on maybe the dangers that people need to be aware of with that? Because I know there's a presentation on that too.
Okay. We have jamming and spoofing. Jamming means that the GPS signals will be stopped. They will be disturbed, will be blocked. that means my GPS is not working. It's very easy to see it because nothing is working. The other point is spoofing means I change the signal and it tells you you are on your route, but you are off route. And you can't see it. And glider planes, I got the information in the electronic display. He is just seeing a point weak. That means the signal is weak. It's something happened. It's not so good. But what does weak or now means? Nothing. And that means the pilot will not encounter this, will not be able to change his work. And therefore, it's very important to have a presentation like this in the moment I prepare in the background here. If you look to the side, I work on it. The point is that we have to learn to go back to the roots and make standard planning with the equipment in the aircraft without high-end electronic use, with basic news, navigation with rivers, navigation with towns, basic navigation with a compass, and we have to check our flight every 5 minutes. Will I be at the position I am planned to be? And not to follow a magenta line. It's very easy to follow a magenta line, like a cow goes to the butcher. I don't like it.
Does it make sense with where I think I'm going? I think there should be a river. Oh, no river. Well, maybe I'm off course. It's using that basic navigation VFR flying that should underpin.
But as well in IFR flying, the companies, all the commercial companies have now instruments where they could have an algorithm to check if the signal is in a proper condition. But if this works, nobody knows. And we have the attacks. We had 2 weeks ago about the Baltic Sea again, a big attack. I got it from the military guys here, from a controller. And if you have these attacks, it comes in the very moment out of the off. It's from one moment to the other. You can't prepare yourself. You must be able to continue your flight. And this is a hard thing. And we are not in a helpful political situation.
So situational awareness is absolutely, it always has been essential, but more than ever, when we think we've got these great tools at our disposal, situational awareness is still a huge part of the safety element of flying. I know that sounds silly, but following the magenta line is not the most effective way of flying if you're just doing that.
Yeah, and another point is that a decision for myself is, if I fly, I take at least 1 hour more gas into my aircraft, because I don't know what's coming up in the air. So to give me, I want to have safety for myself. I'm not a cat. I just have one life, and I want to keep my life.
I think too, these are all really critical topics, and I think a lot of people will be there because they love flying, they love being in the air, they love their aircraft, and just to get that, you have got people there to talk to about that. And I think that the overall sense is there's also going to be a lot of fun there for pilots too, with what's on offer in the academy and in the halls.
Yeah, and all the programs from the academy, the program of the academy is now, you can find it on the AERO site, AERO Expo, conferences, and then you will find TA Academy, and you can make your own plan. You can make your own program. You can choose yourself. And that is very, very important. It's for you, not for us. It's for the pilots.
I'm really excited. I'm definitely going to wander over and see what sessions might even help me as someone who's, that could be quite good, quite interesting to me again, to get flying again.
And
go on.
An additional point is we got a flight instructor lessons on Monday and Tuesday at the fair area, and as well on Tuesday examiner instructor course as well on the fair in Friedrichshafen. Because before we start with the official entry of the fair, flight instructors as well and examiners will be heartily welcome.
Oh, that will be a great deal of interest, I think, across schools all over Europe. That's a very much needed resource. Before we say goodbye for now, I would love to learn a little bit more about these spectacular click glasses that you have. Walk us through how they work.
It works very good because this is my normal glasses, and I have another glasses for flying that I can read all this electronic stuff, because a little bit more than 1 meter. And the point is it's very comfortable below the headset. It works. It looked like a little bit stupid, but I like it, and it's very, very practical.
It is practical, and one of the many things that you can pick up, tips and resources from Herwart and everybody at the Academy. Really looking forward to the show, and thank you for your time.